So let's talk about hiring. This is a stage that in the initial phases of you building this business probably won't be as important, but down the line, I wanted you to have something to help you navigate this part of your business. This is going to be very important when you start reaching certain levels and certain stages. Some of you may want to build something that you never really truly do hire and you just kind of handle it yourself, which is possible. I would say the threshold for that is usually within anywhere from like 20 to 30 clients, depending on exactly what you're offering. So if you're doing like ads and SaaS and a couple of different other options, you may start hiring out 10 to 15 clients. If you're just doing the software and setting all that up, you might have the wiggle room to work with 30, 40, 50, maybe even more people, depending on the amount of time you want to spend and just the way that you want to structure the business. I will tell you guys though, and one of the reasons I put hiring in this initial course is because I actually did hire right away. So what I found for myself was that I wasn't sending enough when it comes to prospecting. So I was sending out emails, but I was only sending out like 10 a day, 15 a day. And realistically, there's people who are sending like thousands of emails a day. So I felt like it was important for me to bring on someone who's called a virtual assistant. And I will leave referrals and links out for you guys to look into something like this. And briefly, what a virtual assistant is someone who is typically in the Philippines or overseas who will handle some of those kinds of tasks, such as like setting up accounts, prospecting, things of that nature. And they'll do it at a very cheap rate in comparison to what you would have to pay somebody here locally in the States. So, in the Philippines, you could hire somebody realistically for as low as $3, $4, $5 an hour, where you wouldn't be able to do that here in the States. And these are people who are, extremely qualified, understand the Go High Level system, and work really hard. It's just that, there in their country, the level of income needed is much lower than it is here. And a lot of them actually look for jobs here in the States that are like this because they get to work remote and they're paid more for that than they are locally. So I'll link some of that out for you guys. But I decided to go that route right away before I even had my first client because Redora, who is who I hired, and she's still with us to this day, Redora gave me the ability to focus in other key areas while she did the prospecting. So she sent cold emails for us to prospect and get in front of people. She sent Instagram messages. She did stuff on Facebook. So she was an integral part of actually helping build the company because she was getting in front of a lot of different people that I just didn't have the time or the consistency to get in front of. And that's why I felt like it's important to have this for you guys because some of you may choose to do the same thing. So when it comes to hiring, your first step should be someone who is a little bit more of a virtual assistant, right? A cheaper hire, someone who can come in and help you take off the things from your plate that aren't really moving the needle 100%. So like you wouldn't bring somebody on for sales right away. You need to learn sales. You need to be the one to sell. But maybe you take somebody on who can get you in front of people so you can get on a sales call, right? People who could do tasks for your customers if you're offering it to them. People who can help you build the accounts in high level. Maybe even someone who has more experience in Go High Level in the platform who can sort of help you through it as well. Because a lot of these programs for virtual assistants actually train them on Go High Level. So they are very in tune with how to do things in there and how to use the system. So they may even be able to help you learn a little bit more with the knowledge that they have. So I would say something within those rules first. Then you're going to start looking at either sales or customer retention. So for customer service, it's going to be very hard for you once you get to a certain point to continuously speak with people who are already customers and also talk to new people. So that'll be a bottleneck for you that you will have to solve. My suggestion would be to bring somebody on for customer service, somebody who has that ability, so that you can keep selling, because you should at a certain point be the best one at selling. Eventually down the line, you can bring somebody on for sales, but that would be my recommendation. Other areas that you can add people on, if you wanted to start adding marketing, you could bring somebody on to do Facebook ads and do that within your company, or Google ads. You can also white label those services. And again, I can give you guys those options as well. There's companies who actually do a white label service, which means that they will run a Facebook, Google ad, or do SEO for you, but do it as if they were under your umbrella in your company. So you're able to offer the service, you pay them a fee, and obviously you charge whatever you charge to the clients, baking that fee into your price point. We don't do that on our end. Our site right now is mainly composed of us doing the work here. We have somebody for Google ads. We handle the Facebook ads, like they're in tune in the company, but this is a solid option. And we have went that route, still do to a certain degree from time to time with SEO, even though we do a lot of our own SEO work as well. So that's, if you guys are even going that route, you could focus solely on the system side and doing, text campaigns and things of that nature, or reviews, and not ever run ads. But I'm just putting that out there for you guys if you wanted to build that within your infrastructure and your company. The most important thing for me with hiring, I've been really fortunate. I think there's some luck involved, and there's a couple of key components to hiring. For me, I think what has really helped us, and we've been really fortunate to keep pretty much all of our people. I've only had to fire one person, and all of them have been with me pretty much for the last 3+ years. One of the important things for me is finding culture fits. So that means finding someone who aligns with your vision, has the same kind of personality and drive, and understands the role and position. Those are the most important things for me. You can teach someone how to do something, but it's very hard for you to change who they are. And what I mean by this is, if you hire someone for sales and you want to sell ethically, well, if you bring somebody on who's really good at sales but doesn't sell ethically, chances are they're going to continue to sell without ethics, and they may be successful, but they might put you in a really odd spot because your company wants to sell ethically. That's kind of their nature, right? That's what they know. It would be really hard for you to get them out of that. But you can teach somebody how to get better at sales. So if you hired somebody who has maybe some sales experience, but they are very ethical, then they'll be ethical. You just need to help them get better at sales and get more reps. All right. This is my experience, of course, within the hiring that we've done. It just comes down to what you're trying to craft. And I think it's very important for you to, one, understand what kind of person you want to bring into a role. And then number two, make sure you're asking the kind of questions that give you the answers to help you understand if they are the fit for the role. So hopefully that gives you guys a helpful idea with the hiring side. Just to recap again, this is not something you need right away. You could realistically run this yourself for a very long period of time. If you do want to bring somebody early on for prospecting, I do highly suggest a virtual assistant, because you can get them at a cheaper cost and they'll be able to do things, especially if you're short on time. But for most of you, it's going to be best for you to do sort of the grunt work first, build this out, and then down the line, once you start scaling, figure out whether you want to bring people on or not and how big you want to build this, because that falls on you at the end of the day. Do you want this to be a $10,000 a month company? Do you want this to be a $1 million a month company and you're bringing people on? You can't do $1 million a month and do it all yourself. It's not possible. It'd be very, very, very hard to do. You can do $10,000 a month yourself. We realistically, at my company, I brought somebody on right away, as I mentioned. I didn't bring a lot of other people on until we hit right around that $30,000 a month mark. For some of you, probably saying that's crazy, that's insane. It's doable. If I were watching this 5 years ago, I'd say $30,000 a month is insane. I'm telling you today, if we were at $30,000 a month, we would be in trouble. So, you will, and you do have the potential to build this into whatever you want it to be. It's not easy, it's not overnight, it takes work, but you do have the potential to do it. And that's one of the main reasons I put this together. It's because I do think there's people out there like myself who can do this and will do this and find that they can craft a better life for themselves and a better opportunity. So that's kind of the gist of hiring. I'll do a couple more videos on this and touch a little deeper in other areas, but that covers most of the basic realm of hiring for your marketing or SMMA company.